Vandeham Shri Guru Shiyata Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Paran Sahagana Lalita Shivishikam Vitam Cha Om Jnana Timaranda Shagyana Jana Shalakaya Chakshurun Maliram Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhu Vyavacha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahamaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratabhishe Namah. So we're hearing from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami, translation and commentary by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. This is chapter Antya-lila, chapter 10, Lord Chaitanya accepts prashadam. Lord Chaitanya accepts prashadam from his devotees. Bande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Bhaktanugraha Kataram Yena Kenapi Santushtam Bhakta Datena Shradaya. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is always pleased to accept anything given with faith and love by his devotees, and is always ready to always ready to bestow mercy upon them. Jaya Jaya Gora Chandra, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda. All glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All glories to Lord Nityananda Prabhu, all glories to Sri Advaita Chandra, and all glories to all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya. Marshantare Sabhakta Prabhure Dekite Parama Anande Sabe Nilachala Jaite. The next year, all the devotees were very pleased to go to Jagannath Puri, Nilanchala, to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Advaita Acharya Gosai, Sarva Agraganya, Acharya Ratna, Acharya Nidhi, Srivas Adidanya. Advaita Acharya led the party from Bengal. He was followed by Acharya Ratna, Acharya Nidhi, Srivas Thakur, and other glorious devotees. Jajapi Prabhu Ragya Gore Rohite Tatapi Nityananda Premi Chalila Dekite. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had ordered Lord Nityananda to stay in Bengal, but nevertheless, because of ecstatic love, Lord Nityananda also went to see him. Anu raghavera lakane bidina himane tara agya bange tara sangera karane. Indeed, it is a symptom of real affection that one breaks the order of the Lord, not caring for the regulative principles to associate with him. Rasa jaiche gara jaite kopere agya dila Tara Agya Bangitara Sange Se Rohila. During the Rasa dance, Krishna asked all the gopis to return home, but they neglected his order and stayed there for his association. Agya Palane Krishna Jaiche Paritosh Preme Agya Bangile Hoi Koti Sukha Posh. If one carries out Krishna's order, Krishna is certainly pleased, but if one sometimes breaks his order due to ecstatic love, that gives him millions of times greater happiness. Vasudeva Datta Murari Gupta Gangadas Shriman Sena Shriman Pandit Akinchana Krishna Das Murari Garuda Pandit Urimantakan Sanjaya Purushottama Pandita Bhagavan Shuklambar Nishingananda Arajata Jan Sabai Chalila Nama Najalikan Vasudeva Datta Murari Gupta Gangadhar Shriman Sen Shriman Pandit Akinchan Krishnadas Murari Gupta Garuda Pandit Buddhimanta Khan Sanjay Sanjay Purushottama, Bhagavan Pandit, Shuklambar Brahmachari, Nishringananda Brahmachari, and many others joined together to go to Jagannath Puri. It would be impossible to mention the names of them all. So the devotees from Bengal are starting for Jagannath Puri. Kulina Grami, Kandabasi, Milila Asya, Shivananda Sen, Chalila, Sabare Loya. The inhabitants of Kalinagram and Kanda also came and joined. Shivananda Sen took the leadership and thus stayed taking care of them all. Raghava Pandit, jhali, Sajjaya, Damayanti, Jatadravya, Diyache, Korea. Raghava Pandit came with bags full of food prepared very nicely by his sister Damayanti. Nana Purva, Bhakya Dravya, Prabhu Jogya Bhog, Vatsareka Prabhu, Jaha Korana Upajog. Damayanti made varieties of unparalleled food just suitable for Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to eat. The Lord ate it continuously for 1 year. Amra Kashandi, Ara Kashandi, Chala Kashandi Nam, Nembu Ara Amra Koli, Bibida Bidan, Amshiyama Kanda, Tailamra Ama Sata, Jatnakore, Gundakore, Purana Shukuta. These are the names of some of the pickles and condiments in the bags of Raghava Pandit. Amra Kashandi, Ara Kashandi, Jala Kashandi, Nembu Ara, Amra Koli, Amshi, Amakanda, Tailamra, and Amasata. With great attention, Damayanti also made dried bitter vegetables into a powder. Shukuta Bole, Avagyana, Korea Chite, Sukutaya Je, Sukha Prabhur Taha, Nahi, Panchamrite. Do not neglect Sukuta because it is a bitter preparation. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu derived more happiness from eating this Sukuta than from drinking Panchamrita, a preparation of milk, sugar, ghee, honey, and yogurt. Bhavagrahe Mahaprabhu, Sneha Matraloy, Sukuta Pata Khandite Mahasukapai. Since Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he extracts the purpose from everything. He accepted Damayanti's affection for him, and therefore he derived great pleasure even from the dried bitter leaves of Sukuta and from Kashandi, a sour condiment. Manusya Buddhi Damayante Kore Prabhurpai Guru Bhojanes Udare Kabu Ama Hoyajai. Because of her natural love for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Damayanti considered the Lord an ordinary human being. Therefore she thought that he would become sick by overeating and there would be mucus within his abdomen. So this is a characteristic of persons who have an affection relationship with the Lord. They're not always thinking of him, or they're not thinking of him and with so much reverence and respect. That's more a formal relationship, but rather they're thinking of the Lord in a more immediate relationship. And sometimes we see when the devotees offer to the Lord, they cut up the fruit like it's very small, like they're offering to a child. Sukuta kaile se ama hoibeka nash a sneho mane babi prabhura ulas. Because of sincere affection, she thought that eating the sukuta would cure the Lord's disease. Considering these affectionate thoughts of Damayanti, the Lord was very pleased. Priyena sangratya vipaka sanidav upahitam bakshasi pivarstani shrajam nakachit vijaho jalavilam vasanti e premni gunanam vastuni. A dear lover strung a garland and placed it on the shoulder of his beloved in the presence of her co-wives. She had raised breast and was very beautiful. Yet although the garland was tainted with mud, she did not reject it, for its value lay not in material things, but in love. Daniya moharir tandula gundakar karya naru bandi jai chini pak korea. Damayanti powdered coriander and aniseeds, cooked them with sugar, and made them into sweetmeats in the shape of small balls. Shunti kanda naru ar amapitahar pritak pritak mande vastrer kutali bitar. She made sweetmeat balls with dried ginger to remove mucus caused by too much bile. She put all these preparations separately into small cloth bags. Koli shunti, koli churna, koli kanda'ar, katanama loiba, shata prakara achar. She made 100 varieties of condiments and pickles. She also made koli shunti, koli churna, koli kanda, and many other preparations. How many should I name? Narikela kanda nadu aranadu gangajal chirastai kanda bikar korila saka. She made many sweetmeats in the shape of balls. Some were made with powdered coconut, and others looked as white as the water of the Ganges. In this way, she made many varieties of long-lasting sugar confections. Chirastai kira Shara Mandari Bikar Amrita Karpurari Anika Prakar. She made long-lasting cheese, many varieties of sweetmeats with milk and cream, and many other varied preparations such as Amrita Karpur. Says Amrita Karpur, a preparation made with milk and camphor. Sali gachuti dhanyara atapachira kori natan bastra bora kutali sababori. She made flat rice from fine unboiled jhali paddy and filled a large bag made of new cloth. This is referring to chira, like rice flakes. Kateka chira hudumba kore gritate bhajia chinipake naru koila karpuraridiya. She made some of the flat rice into puff rice, fried it in ghee, cooked it in sugar juice, mixed in some camphor and rolled it into balls. Shali danyera tandula bhaja churna korea grita shikta churna koila chini pakdiya karpura maricha lavanga elachi rasabas churna diya nadu koila parama subas. She powdered fried grains of fine rice, moistened the powder with ghee and cooked it in a solution of sugar. Then she added camphor, black pepper, cloves, cardamom, and other spices and rolled the mixture into balls that were very palatable and aromatic. So sometimes we talk about a mixture of incompatible rasas, which we call rasa bas, but rasa also means taste. So here we see sometimes this word can refer to different mixture of taste, which is done to give pleasure in the form of condiments or in the form of pickles, etc. So, has two meanings. One meaning to give pleasure by a mixture of taste, and the other is used in a philosophical sense to mean an incompatible mixture of rasas, such as the rasa madhura ras and vatsalya ras. They may not go together very well, or so it is said that, for instance, if someone has their elder brother in the same house as their wife, because the family, they would stay in extended family arrangements in one house, the bride would go to the house of the family of her husband. But in that house, there would be an elder brother of the husband. So sometimes that elder brother would wear wood shoes so that the bride could hear him coming, and then she would cover her head. So the mix, you can understand that even in Spanish culture, they would send the woman with her elder brother to make sure nothing would happen on a date with her boyfriend, chaperone. So the same thing is happening in Vedic culture, but we understand there's the idea of rasa-bas, the incompatible mixture of rasas, that obviously the elder brother's presence will inhibit any intimate relationships with one's wife or girlfriend, etc. Shalidanyara kai punagrite. Okay. Shalidanyara, I'm going to read this because Shalidanyara tandulabhaja churna korea grita shikta churna koila chini paktiya karpura maricha lavanga elachi rasavas churna diya nadu koila parama suvas. There's that word rasavas. She powdered fried grains of fine rice, moistened with powder with ghee, and cooked it in a solution of sugar. Then she added camphor, black pepper, cloves, cardamom, and other spices, and rolled the mixtures into balls that were very palatable and aromatic. Shalidanyara koi puna gritete kori gritete bhajya chini pak ugda koila karpuraridiya. She took parched rice from fine paddy, fried it in ghee, cooked it in a sugar solution, mixed in some camphor, and thus made a preparation called ugda, or murki, or murki. But Futkalai churna kore grite bajala chini pake karpurari diya narukoila. Another variety of sweet was made with fused peas that were powdered, fried in ghee, and then cooked in sugar juice. Camphor was added, and then the mixture was rolled into balls. Kohite na janinam e janme jahar aichenana bhakya dravya sahasra prakar. I could not mention the names of all these wonderful eatables even in a lifetime. Damayanti made hundreds and thousands of varieties. Raghavera ara korana Damayanti duhara prabhute sneho varama bhakati. Damayanti made all these preparations following the order of her brother Raghava Pandit. Both of them had unlimited affection for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and were advanced in devotional service. Ganga Mitika Ani Bastrate Chaniya Panbhare Korea Dilak Ganda Dravya Diya. Damayanti took earth from the Ganges, dried it, powdered it, strained it through a fine cloth, mixed in aromatic ingredients, and rolled it into small balls. Patala Mrit Patre Sandanadi Bori Arasa Bastubare Bastrara Kutali. The condiments and similar items were put into thin earthen pots, and everything else was put into fine cloth bags. Samanya jhali hoite dviguna jhali koila paripati kori sab jhali moraila. From small bags, Damayanti made bags that were twice as large, and then with great attention, Damayanti, she filled all the larger ones with the small ones. Raghavera jhali, many bags of condiments. And so you get an idea. These different preparations are taken with a meal, just like we have, so many. Even today, you can go to the Indian stores and buy so many different kinds of pickles. You can buy, ginger pickles, and you can buy mango pickles and lime pickles and lemon pickles, and you can eat them with the meal. Very tasty. Jali bande moharadila agraha korea tina bajarik jali bahe krama korea. She then wrapped and sealed each and every bag with great attention. The bags were carried by 3 bearers, one after another. Sankepe kohilune jalera bichar raghavera jali boli bikyati jahar. Thus I briefly described the bags that have become famous as raghavera jali. Jalera ubara munshiba makaradvajakar pranarupe jali rake Hoya Tatpar. The superintendent for all those bags was Makarajkar, who kept the super. Hello, I'm doing a reading and yo estoy haciendo un lectura en el templo. Te llamo en media hora, ¿ok? Dandava. Jalera uparam manshiba makarajakar pranarupe jalerake hoya tatpar. The superintendent for all those bags was Makaradvajakar, who kept them with great attention like his very life. Emate Vaishnavasab Nilachali Aila Daive Jagannath se Dina Antya-lila. Thus all the Vaishnavas from Bengal went to Jagannath Puri. By chance they arrived on the day when Lord Jagannath performs pastimes in the water. Narendra-sarovara Govinda Nokate Chadiya Jalakrida Koresha Bhakta Ganalaya. Boarding a boat in the water for Narendra-sarovara, Lord Govinda performed his water pastimes with all the devotees. So Jagannath deities are very large, so during the water pastimes they have another Vigraha named Govinda, which they use, which is smaller and more transportable, and that deity is taken to the water pastimes for Lord Jagannath's pleasure. So that deity is named Govinda, Lord Govinda. Sekale Mahaprabhu Bhakta Gana Sange Narendra-sarovara Dekite Jala Keli Range. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu arrived with his personal associates to see the jubilant pastimes of Lord Jagannath in Narendra-sarovara, which is, these are water pastimes. The deity is taken to the Narendra-sarovara lake for these water pastimes. Sekali Aila Sab Hodara Bhaktagan Narendra Te Prabhu Sange Hoila Milan. At the same time, all the devotees from Bengal arrived at the lake and had a great meeting with the Lord. Bhaktagan Pari Ashi Prabhura Charane Uttaya Prabhu Sabare Koila Lingane. All the devotees immediately fell at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and the Lord lifted and embraced every one of them. Gaudiya Sampradaya Sabkorana Kirtan Prabhura Milane Ute Premara Krandan. The Gaudiya Sampradaya, consisting of all the devotees from Bengal, began congregational chanting. They began kirtan. When they met the Lord, they began to cry loudly in ecstatic love. Jalakrida, Bhajya, Gita, Nartana, Kirtan, Mahakolohala, Tire, Salila, Kelan. Because of the pastimes in the water, there was great jubilation on the shore with music, singing, chanting, and dancing, creating a tumultuous sound. Gaudiya Sankirtane Ara Rodana Milia Mahakolahala Hoila Ramanda Bharia. Indeed, the chanting and crying of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas mixed and created a tumultuous sound vibration that filled the entire universe. Sabbakta Loya Prabhu Namilena Jale Sabloya Jala Krida Korana Kutuhale. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu entered the water with his devotees. He began his pastimes with them in great jubilation. Prabhura e Jala Krida Dasa Vrindavan Chaitanya Mangale Vistare Korijachan Varnan. In his Chaitanya Mangal, now known as Chaitanya Bhagavad, Vrindavan Das Thakur has given a detailed description of the activities the Lord performed in the water. Puna ihan barnile puna rukte hoy vyarta likana hoy aragranta badoy. There is no use in again describing here the activities of the Lord. It would simply be repetitious and would increase the size of this book. Jalalila Kori Govinda Chalila Aloy Nijagana Loya Prabhu Gela Devaloy. After concluding his pastimes in the water, Lord Govinda returned to his residence. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to the temple, taking all his devotees with him. The deity referred to herein as Govinda is the Vijay Vigraha in the temple of Jagannath. When there is a need to take Jagannath somewhere, the Vijay Vigraha is taken because the body of Jagannath is very heavy. The Vijay Vigraha in the Jagannath temple is known as Govinda. For the pastimes in Narendra-sarovara, the Vijay Vigraha was carried there instead of Lord Jagannath. Jagannath Deke Puna Nijagari Aila Prashad Anana Bhakta Gane Kaujaila. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu returned to his residence after visiting the temple of Jagannath, he asked for a large quantity of Lord Jagannath's prashadam, which he then distributed among his devotees so that they could eat sumptuously. Ishtagoshti Saba Loya Katakana Koila Nija Nija Purva Basai Sabai Pataila. After talking with all the devotees for some time, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked them to occupy the individual residences in which they had lived the previous year. Govinda Taya, Raghava Pandit, Samarpila, Bojana, Rihara, Kone, Jhali, Govinda, Rakila. Raghava Pandit delivered the bags of eatables to Govinda, who kept them in the corner of the dining room. Purva, Vatsare, Jhali, Ajanakoria, Dravya, Bari Bari, Rake, Anya, Griheloya. Govinda thoroughly emptied the bags from the previous year and kept them in another room to fill them with other goods. Aradin Mahaprabhu, Nija Ganaloya, Jagannath Puri, Shayotane Jana. The next day, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went with his personal devotees to see Lord Jagannath when Lord Jagannath arose early in the morning. Beda Sankirtan Tahan Aramba Korila Shata Sambradaya Tabe Gaite Lagila. After seeing Lord Jagannath, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began his all-encompassing Sankirtan. He formed 7 groups which then began to chant. Shata Sambradaya Nritya Kori Shata Jan Advaita Charya Ara Prabhu Nityananda. In each of the 7 groups was a principal dancer, such as Advaita Charya or Lord Nityananda, Rakeshwara, Achyutananda, Pandita Srivas, Satyaraj, Kanara, Naraharidas. The dancers in the other groups were Rakeshwara Pandit, Achyutananda, Pandit Srivas, Satyaraj Khan, and Naraharidas. Shata Sambradaya Prabhu Korana Brahman, Mara Sambradaya Prabhu Aiche Savarman. As Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu walked from one group to another, inspecting them, the men in each group thought, the Lord is within our group. So he shows this miracle where apparently he's in every group. He's seen by each group as he's in their group, but everyone's seen like that. So it's like a miracle or an optical illusion caused by the Lord. Optical illusion sounds good. Sankirtan, Kolahale, Akasha, Bedila, Sabajaganata, Bhasi, Dekite, Aila. The congregational chanting made a tumultuous roar that filled the sky. All the inhabitants of Jagannath Puri came to see the kirtan. Rajashi Durideki Nijaganaloya, Raja Patni Sabdeke Atalish Chadiya, accompanied by his personal staff. King also came there and watched from a distance, and all the queens watched from the elevated parts of the palace. Kirtan atope pritive kore tolama haridwani kore loka hoila kolaha. Due to the forceful vibration of kirtan, the entire world began trembling. When everyone chanted the holy name, they made a tumultuous sound. Tumultuous or loud. Emata katakan koraiva kirtan apanena chite tabe prabor hoilaman. In this way, the Lord had congregational chanting performed for some time, and then he himself desired to dance. Shata dike shata sambradaya gai bajai madhye maha primaveshe nache gorarai. The 7 groups began chanting and beating their drums in 7 directions, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began dancing in the center in great ecstatic love. Udiyapara Mahaprabhu Mane Smriti Hoila Swarupere Se Para Gaite Agyadila. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu remembered a line in the Orissa language and orders Swarup Damodar to sing it. Jagamohan Pari Munda Jo. Let my head fall at the feet of Jagannath in the Kirtan hall known as Jagamohan. E pare nritya koran parama aveshe sabaloka shodike prabhur prema jale babe. Simply because of this line, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was dancing in greatly ecstatic love. People all around him floated in the water of his tears. Bol 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 and Prabhu say Bahut Tuliya Haridwani Kore Log Anande Bashia. Raising his two arms, the Lord said, chant, chant, bol, bol. Floating in transcendental bliss, the people responded by chanting the holy name of Hari. Prabhupada Murcha Jai Shvasa Nahi Ar Achambite Ute Prabhu Korea Hunkar. The Lord fell to the ground unconscious, not even breathing, then suddenly stood up, making a loud sound. Hunkar. Sagana Pulak Jena Simulera Taru Kambu Prafulitanga Kabu Hoi Saru. The hairs on his body constantly stood up like the thorns on a shimula tree. Sometimes his body was swollen and sometimes lean and thin. Prati Roma Kupe Hoi Rasveda Raktogam Jajagaga Parimumu Gadabachan. So the line he's saying is Jagamohan Parimuda Munda Jo. Let my head fall at the feet of Jagannath in the kirtan hall known as Jagamohan. But Mahaprabhu's in such ecstasy, he can't say that right, so he says, he bled and perspired from every pore of his body, his voice faltered, unable to say the line properly, he uttered only Jajagagam Parimumu. Ekek Danta Jena Pritak Pritak Nade Aiche Nade Danta Jena Bume Kashipade. All his teeth shook as if each was separate from the others. Indeed, they seemed about to fall to the ground. Kane Kane Bore Prabhur Ananda Avesh Tritiya Prahara Hoila Nritya Nahi says. His transcendental bliss increased at every moment, therefore, even by mid-afternoon, the dancing had not ended. So we're going to stop here. Tomorrow we'll continue. So now we'll sing Hari Haraya. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jaravaya Nama. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jaravaya Nama. Jaravaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama. Jaravaya Madhavaya Javaya Nama. Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan. Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan. Giridhari Gopinatha Madana Mohan. Giridhari Gopinatha Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra. Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra. Gadadara Shiva Sari Gora Bhakta Vrinda. Gadadara Shiva Sari Vrinda. Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhakta Raghunath. Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhakta Raghunath. Sri Jiva Gopala Bhakta Rasa Raghunath. Sri Jiva Gopala Bhakta Rasa Raghunath. Jai Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan. Jai Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan. Jao Ite Vignana Shabista Puran. Jai Gosai Jar Mui Tarana. Jai Gosai Jar Mui Tarana. Tasabar Padarenu Mora Panchagras. Tasabar Padarenu Mora Panchagras. Kader Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanivas. Nitai Gosai Jave Braje Koilaba Radha Krishna Antya-lila Korila Prakash Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan Shri Guru Vaishnava Pare Majayaman Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koryan Shri Guru Vaishnava Padma Koryan Hare Nam Sankirtana Kohe Naratamuna Hare Nam Sankirtana Kohe Naratamuna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Nitai Gora Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Nitai Gora Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Nitai Gora Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Nitai Gora Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Jai Saparikara Shishi Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giridhari Ju Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Gosai Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Gosai Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Sunanta Saraswati Gosai Thakur Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Vaishnava Sarva Bhoma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai Namachar Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhakta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhanda Dasha Raghunath Shad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai Prem Sigo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai all the assembled devotees Ki Jai Srila Bhakti Tilak Nehri Maharaj Ki Jai Srila Bhakti Srila Bhakti Tilak Nehri Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Acharya Srila Acharya Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Madhav Maharaj Ki Jai all the assembled devotees Ki Jai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari
Jai Om Vishnu Paramahansa Srila Bhakti Pavan Janana Maharaj Ki Jai.
And Maharaj, you have today watching the class, and forgive if I didn't name everyone, but who I see here, Sulalita, Didi, Madhu Mangal, Sevanista, saying Dandavat Pranams Gurudev, Dandavat Pranams Sri Padmadab Maharaj, y devotos, Ati Sundari is watching, and Triveni Devidasi.
Okay, so now we can stop the transmission. Supposedly the power's going to go off now.
And just turning the camera so everyone can say hello and goodbye.
Goodbye to everybody. Bye. Adios.
Hare Krishna.
You said you have to go too?
Yes. Okay, Dandavat everybody. Hari Bol.